Yo, what's cracking, bulls? Let's get into it. How are ya? Here we are. You can see me. There we go. Lot going on, lot to catch up on. I've been away for 2 weeks, so a few trades here and there, but we've got some big moves coming with Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market. Obviously going to follow. So the altcoins are looking shit. There's some altcoins that are still looking all right. I'm going to point those ones out to you. Also, just looking at the connections, good. Yep. Also, posted a hell of a trade for the Blockchain Bulls members the other day. It's up like 4x, 400% at the moment. Still, whether you're taking profit on that or not is up to you. I'll just flick over and just show you what that looked like. This was on Telegram, as you can see. So plus, where are we? We risked $100. I'd already taken about $50 profit, so it's $400 was such an easy trade. Up a total of 400 profit from risking 100. This is just one where I just trialed, telling people, amount risked 100, risk 8 out of 10, because as you can see here, leverage was 15x, and we are top timing. And you can see in this picture right here, this is where we entered, literally right there, at the tippy top, which was, where are we? Back into it. Here we go. Hold on. Just do some sit-ups for a second. Just getting the, where the fuck? There we go. Whew. Streaming. So much going on. Alright. It's usually YouTube. So let's have a little look at the charts just to show you where the entry was. You can see here on that, where were we? Entry price 3. Hang on. You get the point. $3.06 was fucking right there. $3.06 was like right there. Shorted it here, so obviously we're in mad gains and 15x leverage as well. So simply just explained, we do a G box. It's based on Fibonacci retracements, and the spacing is typically just off supports and resistances. So you'll see some resistances here, you see some resistances here, you'll see some supports here, you'll see some supports here, and then you'll see the ultimate sell side and buy side liquidity up the top, which it did not have enough to reach, unfortunately. So that's why we shorted it. Bit of a riskier short. It's doing really well. So yep, I've taken 30% profit, which is still decent on a 15x trade. So you can just click and then drag up to where the entry was. You can see here. So you've got 20% gain from entry on a short, and we put 15x on it, right? So that's 200% plus 50, so 300%. So it's up 300% here, and it's going to be a lot more. I'm expecting lower prices in coins like NIA, which leads me to what I wanted to show you next. Over here, this is CryptoRank.io. It's very similar to the CoinGecko that you know and potentially love. Just a ladder, but it's just got a few more filter and customization options, unless CoinGecko's caught up, but I don't think so. You've got filters like this, right? So change 7 days, change 14 days, change month to date, change 30, 3 months, 6 months. A couple of other things, volatility against the market capitalization ratio, so which is good. And we've got this over on the far right, which is the percentage to all-time high. So this is interesting sometimes. So we can chuck here percentage from all-time high. So you can see these high-performing coins that typically trend hard, trend long, and are better long-term holders, ones that are still relatively near the percentage from the all-time high. I've got this filtered for the top, what do we got? Top $900 million market cap onwards. So that's basically, where's the market cap here? So 900 plus. So we're looking at the top 110 110, 115 coins. So the top 110, 115 coins, you can clearly see the ones that are haven't pulled back too far. Obviously, that means there's going to be a lot of buying the dips on the stronger coins like Tron, coins like Hyperliquid, coins like BNB, Ethereum, ones that we know, Solana. That are they're pulling back, but they're not pulling back super far. That's sort of what you want to keep an eye out for if you're looking at long-term holds or even just longing anything. You want to look for coins that are strong. In times of weakness, you want to look for coins that are strong. And don't get that confused with short squeezes, which is what happened with NIA. It was a large short squeeze. So if we flick over and click on the percentage to all-time high, and then we change that to how far they are from all-time high and still in the top 110, you'll see this graveyard. Filecoin, Internet Computer, Algorand, Polkadot, VeChain, who still is on the canvas on the UFC somehow. I think they had a 5-year deal. Ethereum Classic, Atom. Alright, so a lot of these NIA. And then what do you see over here in this glimpse of a 30-day price chart, or even closer, 7-day? Probably looks better on the 30. You can see this vertical price action on a coin that is 99% away from all-time high and has fuck all going on with it is nothing other than what's called a short squeeze. Okay, so the market's just like way heavy on shorts, and when the price starts running a little bit higher, it creates this domino effect where all the shorts start liquidating, hitting their stop losses, or closing, taking profits, and it cascades, and it just goes all the way up. So don't get confused of a short squeeze on good price behavior. You can see that it's happened to a lot of them, NIA being one of them, and that happened to be one of the coins, because anybody that has any sense, when they see their Filecoin holdings that they've held for 20 years, they see it go up, not 20 years, but 5 years, and it's just done nothing but go down, and they see it just quickly go up 200%, they cash in on it. But that's a short squeeze. Okay, that's just everybody's stop losses getting hit. And then people see this happen, this little range, this knot, if you will. They see the knot happen, and then everyone starts shorting as well. So this is an hourly chart. So this is probably like 8 hours of full day, full Friday, pretty much, of people that seeing this short squeeze happen. So they're expecting this to happen straight away. So they start shorting, and where are their stop losses here, which add to everyone else's stop losses here, which gives it enough fuel to just fully just liquidate the fuck, go on another run, and then fill all the smart money's shorts up with their stop losses, which is what happens. Okay, so that's that's pretty much that. Coin that I am looking to short, or would love to short, is this MU. It does have quite strange price action, but quite rigid. It looks pretty like Forex-y almost, so manipulated. What I'm looking for here, it's happened. So this massive range high liquidity rush, which you'll see clearly, especially if we drop down some time frames. You can see that there's think about it like this. Replay. Alright, think about it like this. Let's just go. Okay, so let's just say this is the chart of MU, some shitcoin on Binance, some meme coin or something. Alright, and it's right there, right? You're just like, oh yeah, sweet, this is a range. You box it out, you're just like, okay, that's pretty much range highs, that's pretty much range lows. It's looking pretty good right now. Let's basically range highs, gonna probably make a higher, taking some liquidity. But it's all about where you're gonna put your stop loss. People look for reference points. Alright, so when people put their stop losses there, and there. And that's what's most likely happens for all these times, and then bang, look at that. Alright, and there was probably stop losses. Yep, there would. See, it's not a coincidence at all that right there on that wick, was, my lines on the PS, but if I hold this horizontal one right there, you can see over to the right, bullets right here, that this is higher than that. If I put it right there, bang. Okay, so there's no coincidence whatsoever that there is a wick going through every single piece of high that had happened on this coin, including the highest high, but only by a fraction, only by the tiniest little bit, right? Only by less than 1%. Why did it stop there? It stopped there because that's where the last of the clusters of stop losses were. So when people get force stopped, force liquidated, what happens then is that somebody else that contributed to running this up to those areas had sell orders there, right? So people are getting bought out, on the stop losses are getting liquidated. They're force buyers here, so they're buying from people that are selling short, who caused this. It's all orchestrated. All right, so if you see the price do this, something like this, if you see it run all the highs that are available, and then come back into the range, or just run all the highs in general, and you can get a short after you see the price stab through there, and then it'll start, like, if you've watched the tape long enough, you'll see prices just like hovering. It'll hover there, and then it'll go flash down, and then it'll go back up, and you think it's going higher, and then you'll freak out, but then it goes back down again, and then it finally closes, and then it goes further and further. But if you see it hovering around there after it's already done something like that, that's a fantastic entry. It's the sort of entry that you want. Full stop, pretty much, because that's what's happening. There we go. So now, on the other hand, I'm watching this closely because it's done that. Okay, it's already done that. But at least I would like to see, or just straight fucking boom, maybe retest and just start grinding down already. Both of these things. So there's quite a lot of, options. What's the other option that we don't want to see is just this, just grinding up, low volatility, just sort of hugging that, grinding that. It'll create a channel like this, and then it'll start channeling up even higher like that, and then it'll go fucking parabolic from here, and then you'll start another range, and then you obviously, we've been stopped out a long time ago, but that's sort of the three things that I see happening, and two of those things will get us to short that shitcoin. Short that shitcoin. Just a quick chat about Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin's pretty fucked, as per the title of this video. This is a 30-minute charts where we do a lot of trading on. We actually did a trade recently. We entered on blue bar volatility right here. What chart is this? We entered here with the copy trading account. So we risked $400 US. Enter here on the signal of the blue bar. Pretty good entry. It was up here. I'll show you in a second. And then came down here. It was up like $500. Took a little bit of profit. And because we've got another blue bar signal on a step, I added more, bring the stop loss down. So our stop losses is 1.8. That's where we found the sweet spot after 200 iterations of backtesting this strategy. 1.8 was a sweet spot. It tapered off very fast after that. So you may as well run that 1.8. I typically do 1.9 these days. So I do 1.9 stop. If it's going to go in that direction, it won't usually hit the 1.9. That's about as far as a head fake goes. So comes down. And then we got a new blue bar signal, so I'm just like, oh yes, okay, cool. We double down on the position, bring the stop loss up to bring the stop loss down to 1.9. We've got double the size, and then unfortunately I got tagged, I got done. So we just got break even on that, unfortunately, but it was still we followed it and it was a good trade. Like, it wasn't too bad. This is it here. You can see here I've been using TradeZeller a lot. It's actually really good. You can see this is basically what I was saying. You just buy open, it'd be up over a couple grand. Terry Marto, what's it doing, bros? How are ya? 650, there we go. It's happening. But using TradeZeller a bit. It's pretty sick. This is just the dashboard of it for this one strategy that we've been doing. Very, very safe strategy. So, risking only 5% of the portfolio every trade. So yeah, missed out on that big one at the moment, but as you can see, the equity curve is pretty good. Trade win percentage is 45% now. It's gone down drastically, but as you can see, the P&L's 4,000%. Profit factor is 2.3. $4,000. Profit factor is 2.3. So, and then what we're winning off a trade is around average is 770, and what we're losing is averaging 265. So you can see that shit's, obviously you're winning more on your winners are winning and your losers are getting cut short. So that strategy's working sick. I just still ironing out the kinks. It's been a long time coming, but just doing it organically. Like, I could obviously throw a lot more coin in it, but it's nice saying that we started from $500. You know what I'm saying? Like, started from $500 and now the account's at $8,000 or something, just from following the rules. Terry, been a while, man. Been inactive at the moment. Hoping for a Santa rally. Predicting a red 2026. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think it's going to get a bit more grim before it gets a bit more good. I think. Where are we? Yeah. Just trading what I'm seeing at the minute. But Bitcoin. Let's just zoom out a little touch. Here we go. Sorry, got my head in the way. Fat ranges, so big range, boom, sideways price action, trend, small trend, sideways, small trend, sideways. When I say stream died GG, what's the, oh, all G. Yeah, just saying, look, this is the easiest. If you can just look at price action on any asset, gold, stocks, anything you want, as ranging and trending, it will just break everything down for you. Things range until they trend, and then they trend until they range, and there's just one of two things. And the ranging, it ranges 70-80% of the time. So right now it's trending down. It's come down into this previous range, you can see here. So it's up in this range for a long time, since July all the way till basically November. We had these big liquidity sell-offs coming down, grabbing it, spiking it, coming back down. Now it's in this. Now what the price has done, like we talked about earlier in the stream, is it's found support, not at the support that you would think, like, candle closes, range lows, even there, but you can see it finds support below where most people would, if any. I'm sure they would, but if any, people are still putting their stop losses here. A lot of people longing through, it's all the way from July, so all these people are longing, and if you use, let's just say you longed here in the middle. So if you put your stop loss, let's just say on this red line, that's 13%. So you can pretty much use anything up to like a 7x leverage or something, which is, still considered quite a lot. So a lot of people would have been putting their stop losses here. If you've ever tried to put a stop loss on and battled your greed, right, and you look at somewhere, let's just say you're longing up here, and then you're looking down, and you're just like, okay, where am I going to put my stop loss? I'm going to put my stop loss out of this range. I'm using 5x leverage, 3x leverage, 4x leverage. All right, let's just put my stop loss. Well, you look down, you're like, oh, it's never going in the 90s again. This is the typical mindset that you have when you're doing shit like this. Oh, it's never going in the 90s again. Oh, it's never going in the 90s again. I could put it at this wick, but this wick doesn't really mean anything. That's 98. It's never going in the 90s. Where's some candle closes? There. Yeah, maybe I'll put there 101. Yeah, I put my stop loss put my stop loss there, or I'll put my stop loss at, even if people do say that, I'll put my stop loss at 99. It's never gone under 100 again. And then boom, look at this. This is exactly what this has done. This has come for all the people that have used 7x leverage or less, or 5x leverage, or even 10x leverage if they enter there, and they've put their stop losses in the 90s, and it's just come bang, smack down, and then filled up all the buy orders of everybody that's put buy orders in knowing that the price will most likely come looking for this liquidity. Now, where is the next bit of liquidity? The next bit of liquidity is the knot. This is called a knot. There's plenty of names for it, but the furthest, like I always mentioned, the furthest back-dated name for it is the knot, and so I just appreciate that, and I'll keep the name alive, because price goes like this, and then makes a knot, and then it comes down and tries to untie the knot. The amount of times where if you put an entry in a knot, or if it was upside down, if you put a short in the knot, the amount of times that it gets filled eventually, not when you want it, but maybe a month later, it's fucking insane. The knots have such a high chance of getting touched, at least bare minimum touched. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this was close, but it wasn't close enough. I'm thinking, right now the price is bear flagging if we zoomed in, right? So zoom in, it's bear flagging, 2-hour chart right here. Zoom in like this, flag. I know if it gets too messy, it's hard for people. So, but this is a flag. The price is making higher highs, somewhat higher lows. This is probably more accurate there, that the flag's already being broken and retested right now, so potentially a good time for a short, if you will. But it's just a bear flag. Look, bear flag, downtrend, bear flag, downtrend, bear flag, downtrend. That's just how it goes, right? So downtrend, it's just, or you can even zoom out. It trends up, and then it goes down, just like that's the whole, the whole flag thing. Like if it's a bull market, it's going up, and then it trends down, and then it goes up, and that's the flag. So it trends down in the secondary trend, and then continues the primary trend. That's how the shit works. So you get these fake liquidity hunting rallies that sometimes will even go as far as taking any short stop losses from up here if it's real game, and then making this next low. I don't know if it's got that much juice in it, but what I'm saying is it's not far for this to come down to the knot. Realistically speaking, it's at 103. I'm just expecting it to come to like 96, 97. I've been saying that for a few weeks now, and it's just purely off. Well, one, it's a downtrend, so I'm not really going to bet against it, and two, I haven't really seen a convincing low yet. Lows will typically, like, this is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting something like this. Something like whenever it feels like it, back down to here, comes back up, ranges, higher low, starts back up again. Resistance, obviously, shit like that. And this is probably the best case too. You want that fucking knot to hold. That knot's going to try and hold. It's been there for a long time. So the longer, the stronger. And if that doesn't hold, it's going to come down into this range. So you're just grabbing I'm just grabbing highs, just grabbing the most price action. When you're dragging a range out, just try and fit like 90% of all the price action within it. Alright, you can don't go getting confused with all the other bullshit. Just line up a couple of highs, line up a couple of lows. You could even tighten it up. Line up some highs, line up some lows, shit like that. It's all good. Just get the gist of it, get the most of it. see what I've done there. I've just left the wicks out. You can sort of see that it's grabbed. That's sort of how you grab ranges, just like that. What I've done there, or gathering all these lows, you know, around about within range of the most pivots. You know, that's a little bit higher. That's all right. That's touching it. That's touching it. That's touching it. Clearly, that's a range high. Shit like that. Now, just for some long-term hold coins, like we just looked at on Crypto Rank, let's just have a little look at a couple of things that, you know, wouldn't hurt maybe to just throw a little bit of coin at for a long hold, assuming the bull market's not over. Okay, so let's just first have a look at Tron. We'll see where Tron's sitting if it fucking loads. Sweet. Tron. Alright, daily chart. Look at this. Daily chart. So again, Tron has done nothing but go up for fucking years, since 2022. If you don't have a bit of Tron in your portfolio, what do you like? You know, what do you want? What more do you want? This thing does nothing but go up. So now that it's, you know, had a trend, like a phase 1 trend, as I call it, then you can see that the angle severely changed on here. It got a lot more parabolic, quite a lot more parabolic. It went into its next phase, and then it went into its final phase, which is the phase 3, which is basically fucking vertical, which you can see happened right there. And now it needs some time to die off. So phase 1, this is over the course of 3 years or 2 years or so. So phase 1, angle. Phase 2, higher vertical angle. Phase 3, very vertical angle. And then, you know, it obviously already did that back there, did it again. Now it needs some time to relax, calm down. It's down from its highs at the top of that phase 3. It's down, you know, 25%, but it's not really budging too much. You just look for places that are good buys. You know, you're just buying it on discount, like you're on Facebook Marketplace or something. You're looking for some lows. Where's some lows? You know, where do I think that all the stop losses could be? You know, right here. Definitely. It's definitely going to be liquidity there. There's definitely going to be liquidity there. There's definitely going to be liquidity there. You know, so like if you're long-term holding, you'd just be like, okay, well, I'll allocate. Let's just say I'm allocating $1,000 to it. You can fucking, you put in like, you know, 2, 3, 6, 9, yeah, something like $300 there. Just keep it simple. $300 there, $300 there. Holy Grail, $400 there. You know, just scoop it up. Just put some buy orders in, because you know that the chances are they're most likely going to get hit. At least bare minimum that. Just get some discounted, and you can do that, or you could do the stochastic. Don't have this on that setup, but another good way to buy discounted long-term holds. You know, this is one of the smarter ways. Nobody wants to do this shit, right? Buy these coins when they're fucking downtrending, but it's like, oh yeah, you'll buy it when it's here, obviously, though. So, you know, what's wrong with you? Is another way to do it. Typically, you get the Giga Stochastic, our in-house indicator, and then you can just see like when it goes into these extreme low areas, boom, boom. Typically, it makes for relatively good buys. The further out time frames that you zoom, the better buys that you're going to get. So, you know, bang. It's not that best there. Some examples far better than others. You can see when it went under the extreme line here, under that yellow, like that was a pretty fucking good, about as good as it gets for an entry there. It's doing it again now. It's downtrending though, so you got to remember that it can stay here for a long time, just like it can stay above a long time when it's uptrending. But just to sort of, if you just want a rough one, if you don't want to go off liquidity zones and that, you can just go, okay, well, pretty good. It's, overall uptrending, macro uptrend asset that's done nothing but go up for 3 years. I can't work out when to buy this motherfucker. How about I just buy it when the stochastic's in the extreme lows and just scoop it up? So relative discount. Anyway, that's another idea. So Tron's always on the radar. I don't think low just yet, exact low, but could be, like I'd give it 30-40% chance of it being the bottom, probably less, probably 30% chance that that's the bottom, but that's still a chance. Hype, let's have a look at Hype. So Hype's the one that wouldn't be too bad to scoop up if you weren't lucky enough. I'm gonna have to go in a second. Phone's blowing, but Hype, anything, if it makes it back down to this knot or even in these areas like low 30s, I'd be a buyer. I got to boost. Phone's blowing up. Missus is home. Good to see you. Good chat. Talk soon. How do you turn this fucking thing off again? I'll see you tomorrow probably. Sounds good. Ta-ta. Bye now.